Hey, I'm Silverpaw, and today I'm bringing you Chapter 5 of Detention, a Kingdom Hearts fanfiction. Now before I get started, I just want to ask you guys that if you like the video, please leave a like, because those really help out the channel. Anyways, let's get started. As soon as they got out of the truck in the school's parking lot, Axel set off in the direction of the side courtyard, locking the truck by pointing the remote over his shoulder as an afterthought. Roxas was slightly disappointed as he realized they had pretended they didn't know each other at school, though he knew he had no reason to be. Of course, Axel wouldn't want to drag him around or destroy his reputation. It made sense, really. He shouldered his bag and started off towards the front doors. "Hey, Roxy, where are you going?" He stopped, startled, and turned to look at the redhead who was looking at him in confusion. I was just headed to class," he stuttered out as an excuse. "Roxas, class doesn't start for another 20 minutes. Come on, come meet my friends. They're a little crazy, but you'll love them, I promise." Not really having a good excuse, and really wanting to follow the redhead anyway, Roxas shrugged and followed after Axel to meet his friends. They were sitting on the far end of the courtyard, stretched out across a long picnic table. As the introductions went around, Roxas tried to remember who was who. The guy with pink hair was Marluxia. Larxene had strange bangs that slicked back, reminding Roxas vaguely of a grasshopper. Cloud was a silent blonde, and the well-endowed Tifa was his girlfriend. The pretty long-haired brunette was Eris. Dimix was a bubbly blonde with a mullet/mohawk thing going on, and Axel seemed to have a special liking for him. As soon as the introductions were finished, Axel sent Dimix a big grin and said, "Hey Dimix, guess what? Roxas' family." Dimix let out an excited laugh and grinned. "Really? Wow, I thought we might be the only ones. Which would be pretty awkward, huh?" "Well, Roxas, welcome to the family. Well, I guess you're already family before this, but I didn't know, so I guess it could still be a welcome, couldn't it?" Roxas had no idea what the hell Axel meant by family, but he was pretty sure he'd regret asking. What now?" Roxas asked with a cocked eyebrow. "He means you're gay," Cloud interjected, making Roxas' eyebrows rise a few inches. "Dimix insists that the gay community makes up a family," Eris explained with a small smile. "Wouldn't that mean they're all fucking family?" Larxene asked with an amused smirk. "Hey, as long as the family's sexy," Dimix said with a flirty grin. "Coincidentally enough, Roxas, how have I not met you before?" Axel's eyes narrowed just slightly, his arms coming to loop around Roxas' shoulder. "Mine," he said warningly to Dimix. Dimix laughed and held up his hands as if to show he was unarmed. Okay, I get it. Roxy's off limits." The group fell silent for a long moment before there was a high laugh. "Tell me, Axel's joined the family." Tifa grinned, her eyes sparkling mischievously. Axel nodded grimly. "They added my name to the family tree just yesterday." Larxene rolled her eyes, setting an elbow on the table and propping her chin on her hand. "Axel's gay. What a huge surprise," she said sarcastically. "I knew it since the moment I saw him." She tapped her temple knowingly. "Larxene has an infallible gaydar. She's never wrong," Axel informed Roxas, who was quite intrigued by these new people. They just found out their friend of many years was gay, and they acted as if he had announced that oxygen was required for living. As if it was no big deal. Where had these people been all these years when Roxas had been living in hell, because of the homophobic bastards all around him? Hardly 5 minutes and he already felt completely relaxed. Axel must have been picked up on this, because he grinned, tightening his grip around Roxas' shoulder and pulling him close into his side. "I told you you'd love him. Now you understand how I was so comfortable with being myself? These guys are the least judgmental, hardest to surprise people in the world. Nothing phases them. Ever." It was actually quite easy to see why he was so comfortable around these people. They all seemed really close. Close like Roxas felt Zexion, as if they'd been together all their lives, and maybe they had. "Roxas! Hey, Roxas!" The blonde turned around as he heard his name being called, only to see Sora running up to him, Riku following at a close pace behind. "Hey, Dimix," Larxene cackled as the brunette got closer. "Future family, the both of them." Dimix let out a squeal of delight and Roxas moaned just thinking about it. The worst part was, it was most likely true. The difference about Sora that conformed to Roxas, though, was Riku. Even as a freshman, people knew not to screw with him. Even better, they knew not to screw with Sora because Riku would defend his best friend even more unflinchingly than himself. "What's up, Sora? Is something wrong?" he asked worriedly. No, everything's fine. I just wanted to say hi. You know, considering I didn't really see you at all this morning because, what's his name? Anyway, he showed up and basically dragged you out of bed, so I guess I just missed seeing your face in the morning. Oh, and Leon wants you to stop at the grocery store after work today because he doesn't have any cash left, and the spaghetti we made last night was literally the last food we had in the house. He said all this very quickly, hardly stopping to take a breath. After years of living with him, though, Roxas fluently understood the foreign language of Sora. Oh, damn, he muttered, then lowered his voice because he didn't want Axel's friends to hear. Listen, so I don't have any money left either. Ask one of your friends if you can stay at their place tonight, alright? Tell Namine the same. Sora looked troubled, his wide blue eyes staring into Roxas's. But what about you and Leon? We'll figure something out, don't worry about it. I'll just do what I say, okay? Sora nodded, and he and Riku set off across the lawn back towards the building. He felt a little bad for lying to his brother, but sometimes sacrifices had to be made. It certainly wouldn't be the first time he went hungry in order to feed his younger siblings. He was suddenly grateful that Axel had insisted that he eat that morning. He didn't know how long it would be until he ate again. He turned back to Axel and his friends to see Axel watching him suspiciously, his green eyes slightly narrowed. What was that about? He asked. Nothing. Roxas lied easily. My brother just wanted to see me because he missed me this morning. Sweet kid, Axel said, though Roxas could tell he didn't believe a word of it. The warning bell rang and the group dispersed almost instantaneously. Roxas followed at a slightly slower pace after them, avoiding Axel's questioning gaze all the way there. Roxas didn't see Zection until lunch, where he found his friend waiting for him by the door to the cafeteria, just as he did every day. Hey Zex, thanks a lot for this morning, you're a great friend. Zection cast him a small smile and nodded. Of course, Roxas, it was no problem. How was your date? Roxas smiled, remembering that morning. It was really great, actually. He took me to this diner, and the food was really good, and I let him pay for it. Zection shot him a surprised look, and Roxas blushed slightly. Well, he was all insistent that I eat something, but I couldn't afford anything, and when he found that out, he insisted on paying because he was the one who'd asked me out, and I couldn't come up with a good argument. Well, I suppose he went about it in a good way. At least it wasn't one of those, oh, I'm a good person because I give to those less fortunate. That would have been annoying. Roxas nodded in agreement. They started making their way through the crowd of the cafeteria, heading towards their table in the farthest corner of the cafeteria. Watch your right side, Roxas instructed quietly, and Zection turned his head slightly to avoid walking into a pillar there. Roxas often had to point things out on the right that Zection couldn't see out of his peripheral vision, or judge the distance of. They never really acknowledged it, but Roxas knew his friend was thankful for the help. Hey Roxas, come here. He glanced over in the direction of the voice to see Demyx waving him over with a large grin. Roxas hesitated, glancing at Zection. Demyx seemed to understand the problem and got up from his table, making his way over to him. Come on, sit with us today. Pretty please? He extended his hand to Zection with a grin. Hey, I'm Demyx. I just thought you ought to know that I'm kidnapping you both to my lunch table today. Zection, I noticed. I suppose I can sacrifice my silence. They started towards the table, Demyx pulling Roxas back a bit. Hey, Roxy, he said quietly, conspiratorially. Is your friend? His name is Zection, right? Yeah, is he family? It took Roxas a moment to figure out what Demyx was talking about. He broke into a grin. Not exactly. He's more like step family. Roxas answered carefully, nodding when Demyx mouthed the word bye. The dirty blonde broke into a broad grin. Oh, that's all I need to work my magic. He's not like taken or anything, is he? Not at all, Roxas informed him. Demyx grinned even wider and practically skipped back to the table. Roxas followed behind him, taking a seat on Zection's right side. Demyx having already taken up the left. It had been a lucky guess on the other blonde's part, sitting where Zection could actually see him. The rest of the group sidled over to the next few minutes, each taking their seats and talking as if there weren't two new people at their table at all. The last person to show was Axel, who looked positively delighted to see Roxas at the table. There you are, Roxy. I was looking for you. Ah, and there's your friend from bed this morning. Wait, I remember your name. Zection, right? Zection nodded at him for confirmation and a hello before turning his attention back to Demyx. who was chattering on about something that seemed to interest Zection quite a bit. Or maybe he was as smitten as Dimix was. It was kind of hard to tell him. Seeing that the rest of the table except for Roxas was already eating, Axel stood as well. I'm gonna go grab some food. Coming, Roxas? The blonde shook his head. Nah, I forgot my lunch money. I'll just eat when I get home. He lied. Axel's eyes narrowed and he knew the redhead knew he was lying, but he'd hoped he wouldn't say anything. Much to his relief, he didn't out his lie. Yeah, okay. He made his way to the lunch line and Zection turned away from Dimix to send Roxas a knowing glance. Roxas just shook his head, warning him to let it go. Hey, heads up! He looked up just in time to throw his hand up and catch an orange that had been thrown his way by Tifa. Not eating lunch sucks, and I wasn't planning on eating that anyway. You can have it if you want, she said, turning back to her conversation with Cloud. Roxas blinked and shrugged. Yeah, you can have my extra sandwich, Eris offered. The maid always makes me two, even though I can never eat both of them, and I tell her that all the time. Is turkey okay? Roxas accepted the sandwich, resisting the urge to roll his eyes at the maid comment. He didn't feel bad taking the food from them, because they offered it as friends, not as a charity case. They didn't know Roxas was destitute, trying desperately to think of how to feed his family until his next paycheck came in a week. They were just nice people, offering food to a friend who'd forgotten his lunch money. He thanked them quietly, and when Axel showed up with a lunch tray, he beamed as if proud of his friends, or maybe he was proud of Roxas. They lapsed into conversation, and it was basically forgotten by the time the bell rang, dismissing them to their next period class. Still, Roxas couldn't help but think about it for the rest of the day. These people were genuinely nice, not at all how he'd imagined they'd be. Maybe he'd been judging them too harshly, and it was time that he'd changed his view on the world around him.